They're watching.
We on? What's up, everybody? It's your boy Mike Sims coming to you for the latest episode of Let's Be Blunt. We've been busy, man. A lot of things going on. We just coming off an incredible event in Charlotte. The Indiana Jones Raiders of the Lost Kush event. We did a bunch of pivoting and changing and budget cutting and all kind of things and kept Jenna up at night to do it. But it turned out to be a great event. We ended up making a showcase for the industry. Different people in our industry in North Carolina showed up, and really great. We ended up making a competition out of it for best edibles, flower, drinks, you know, the whole nine. And it turned out to be great. So we're going to be doing another one of those. But we're still in threat season. We're still in political season. Woke up again this morning with a potential threat to our industry. I would like to say I'm completely jaded to it, but it still gets to me from time to time. But we're still fighting every day. We got short session coming up in the end of this year, and for most people in most states, and we're hoping to survive. There's a lot of threats out there, like always, but hopefully we are championing the right people that support us, and hopefully want to see our industry continue and thrive. But we're not out of the woods yet. We're still fighting all that, so stay tuned for that. But today we have a very special guest in our podcast. A lot of people see me as the pretty face, but don't get to see a lot of folks behind the scenes. And our next guest is one of those people. Fun fact, back in 2018 when we got started, we really had nothing. We had some T-shirts, we had a little bit of inventory, and hopes and dreams. And I was at my business partner's house in Charlotte, and we were delayed once again getting our store open for whatever reason, whatever trick they threw at us, or problem why we couldn't get open. So I was like, let's go to social media and make a video talking about why we're not open yet, get people engaged and involved. And it worked out beautifully for us. It really got people engaged with us and helping, like they're part of the fight before we got open. But the person holding the camera in 2018 when we shot that video is our next guest. Hello, ma'am.
Hi.
Hi. This is Billie Barringer. I call her Billie Mae. She's also known as Billie without the Willie. Hey, we're here to keep it blunt. But
right.
It's all loving, different terms and things we throw around here. But Billie's been with us from the very beginning. We've thrown her in all different kind of positions in this company. Sometimes daunting and impossible positions, and she did incredibly well, pulled through it, and helped us form and shape this company to what it is today. So, hello, Billie. Welcome.
Hi again.
Hi
and
there.
Thank you so much. This is such an emotional roller coaster I'm on right now.
Right.
So, and I have been for weeks. So,
let's talk about that.
The climax of it.
So, Billie's leaving us. So. It's all.
I wouldn't say leaving.
Well, she's not going to be currently with our company, and it's very bittersweet. This happens, when you become an employer, you have employees that either suck and you got to get rid of them, or they're great and you have to pay them a lot to keep them, or they go on to start their own thing because they're so great, and that's where Billie is, and she has been instrumental in everything we've built here. And working with us, and she came to me a couple weeks back or whatever. I knew that they were working on some things, and I'll let her talk about it, but ultimately Billie is going to do her own thing, and I fully support that as a business owner. Billie and many others like Billie helped me support and build my dream of owning this company and being in this industry, so of course I love to see people thrive and do the same for themselves. So, without further going on, tell everybody what you got going on and why you're leaving us. And
yeah, and I really hate to say leaving because I'm really I'm always going to be here if you guys need me.
Yeah.
Always. So, because it's not leaving out of, disdain or anything for the company. It really was a situation where you guys, well, I guess before I even came to work here for the plug, back full time at the end of 2020, I think it was.
COVID times.
Like that's when I became full time part of the company, and you guys were growing the distribution, and it's like okay, you needed somebody to do sales and basically everything.
A little bit of everything.
With getting the plug up and going, and it was. Whew, we've been through a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. Like
it's a daily battle, but yeah.
Like I have learned so much, and the thing is, like I could never repay you guys like for the education and everything. The biggest way that I can show support to this company is my family, wanted to. We talked about that years ago, and that's when I actually came onto the company and said, "Yeah, let me just work for you guys. Let's do this," And over the years, it's grown and grown and grown. You got to real franchising levels, partner stores, all these things. We wanted that to be, and we still, if that's, something that we do, that's something else.
Only time will tell.
Yeah, we had this whole thing, like, we wanted to have a store from the get-go. Like, because, I'm a people person. They're people, like, they're into the whole wellness thing. I was just starting a juice company right when I came here.
Nice.
A cold press juice company.
Still
and
can.
Had a couple. It's still on the list. It is still on the list.
Right.
But we had a couple of events, and the thing that got me into juicing and everything was I'd gone down the vegan path a couple years before that for 2 years. I don't mean to like babble on, but like
no, you're good.
A lot of it played into like opening Pandora's box to health and wellness and everything that it just spiritually, like holistically, everything. Like I've just been on this path that won't stop.
Yeah.
And everyone around me gets on it. Like I really, that is what I love to do. And so working for the plug and being in other businesses and selling B2B was such a joy. And I was like, man, I just kept thinking in my head, like, if I ever have a store, I will do it this way.
Yeah.
Because just getting to see what's out there, all these people promoting the plant and holistic wellness, that's the biggest thing that, like, I'm hoping to do is to show holistic wellness and cannabis and kratom and mushrooms. It all goes together.
Yep.
It is the alternative choice.
Yeah, people like to call it
the
alternative,
prescriptions.
Right? The alternative, but yeah, I think it's the original.
They've made the word alternative sound bad.
Sure.
And
you talk about it. Once you take the rose-colored glasses off, in most situations, you can never go back to seeing it the other way.
Yeah.
And until you get deep in this industry and realize how politicized all this is and how little it has to do with actual facts or what's better for you. And matter of fact, I often say now, if it's illegal, it's probably great for you.
Exactly. It's the opposite of everything they say. Right?
Yep, they.
Okay, y'all know who they is.
Yeah, I mean, we're every day we argue about how dangerous this product is, and it's crazy too. I don't know if you even know this. This week alone, they just added fentanyl as a Schedule 1.
Oh, I didn't know
this
that.
week.
Yeah.
So this week is now saying fentanyl is now as dangerous as cannabis.
They got to be careful because, they put that in epidural, so they got to be careful. They can't shoot yourself in the foot.
But it's just crazy. It's like, we're now we're saying fentanyl is as dangerous. It kills how many people a day? But now it's as dangerous as cannabis. And, I've often said, too, this whole scheduling system is broken as long as cannabis sits at Schedule 1. And there's a talk about it now, but yeah, the journey, the health journey, and it's the same thing for me. I've always enjoyed smoking cannabis because I like getting high, but once I got into this industry, it opened my eyes. Like, damn, most of the things we consume daily are far more dangerous for us and deadly. Even I was reading the other day, some of the most cancer-causing things in your home, and one of the things was a candle. A burning wax candle. It said it's the same thing as a diesel engine running inside of your home.
Yeah, it's got the phthalates.
Phthalates, yeah.
So now everybody's like putting no phthalates on the label.
Right.
Like, y'all think they changed that right overnight?
Right.
That ain't how it works.
They just mix it in there. And
Yeah.
Of course, there's no FDA regulation around any of that.
Yeah.
So this journey started. I think you even started this journey before you joined the company. You dabbled in other things for wellness and health and things like that.
Yeah.
I have seen your growth in this industry. We grew together.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these things, we just had hopes and dreams. You're talking about someone that dealt with flowers in the streets before this was legal, and I never thought we'd have this opportunity. And we just opened the store on a dream.
Mm-hmm.
Took off for us. Retail exploded, the whole nine, and we created the distribution company because there really wasn't any back then.
Yeah.
And it was just really to distribute to our company. And then when we brought Billie in, we had her build it up to be a true distribution company, and now we're blowing up for that. So,
and I would have never left you if the scale wasn't headed upwards. I would have never
oh no,
it wouldn't even been on the table,
It's
but
a beautiful thing, man. So, let's talk about all that. So, what do you think you've learned, or what do you think is the most impactful part of this journey in this last 5 to 6 years that really opened your eyes to a whole thing,
with cannabis and all that? Well, first of all, when everything was getting started, I say I've been in the industry for a long time because I was in a supplements company. That was a big thing, and it blew up real quick. We were making supplements to replace Adderall, and that's another poke in the bear when it comes to messing with whose money and all that.
Yeah, the government doesn't like competition with their drug dealing.
Yeah, so I told myself I'm gonna be so careful what I say today.
No, I don't.
To hold it back.
I'll have
but
it
it's man, when especially getting into these sides of industry and part of living life on this planet, you really see so many wrongs. That is not right. Like you said, do the opposite of what they say.
Sure.
Because your eyes are opened. Just the way this plant has been treated, it's crazy to me. The way that we even treat mushrooms or even kratom, man. I've learned a lot about kratom in the last couple years, and natural kratom.
Right.
And I'm telling you, it should be right there. If not, I'm just saying, it is.
No, I just did an interview on the news about kratom the other day. I don't know if you saw it, but
I did see it.
It was the same thing, and I try to keep saying kratom in its natural form used correctly is great.
Yeah.
But abusing it or using it in a concentrated form, this 7-hydroxy shit, that was explained to me. One of those is the equivalent to a pound of kratom.
To the face.
Yeah. That's insane, because a little bit of kratom is very effective for me. So
it's great. Yeah. It really is. I
don't know if it's great for me. It was great for some people.
Well, what I'm saying is you don't have some people are coming off of
opioids
and stuff like that, and it's life changing. I have help people with that and with the natural kratom, and that's why I'm such a believer in that product. You guys got a great brand here, great people that back it. So we could talk about so many things, brands, products, everything.
One thing I think would be cool to talk about, and I've watched you do this as well, as you often call yourself a vessel, like my wife says I am. We're vessels, and that's exactly it. I've watched you convert your little family to your ways.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that, about how things were growing up, and the challenge you had within your family of getting people in your family to believe in where they all stand today.
Yeah. That's a lot. That's a lot, buddy. It's because I'm a witch.
right.
I'm a good one.
Right.
But, herbal medicine and remedies and all those things back in the day, they were considered witches, and that's why they burned them at the stakes. So they had some knowledge that men back in the day were threatened by, and I think I'm hoping to be a vessel from history, because that's why we say ancient wisdom is a big role in holistic medicine, because before they had pharmaceutical companies, what did you have? What did you do? How did you cure yourself, and heal yourself? So,
cannabis.
It's so interesting to me, just the whole history of all the plants, where we've taken it, how we've restricted it, and people were sitting in jail. That's the biggest thing with me and all this. You probably don't realize that. We don't talk about it much, but I am very passionate about the things that you guys do in the industry to help the people that are still in prison for
We have
a
to.
plant.
Yeah.
I mean, that is insane.
Yeah.
And nobody should be. And I'm whatever I do, like I'm going to make sure that like all of that is remembered, But
Right.
part of ancient wisdom and healing methods with the plants, all the plants, right? Because there were no pharmaceuticals.
Right.
So we got to take it way back, and like it includes just all of it, where it's come, where it's at, and like I want to be that vessel to people, because the biggest thing with me is, even though like my part in the distribution got much more serious back in December, where I came from being like head of sales, to president of the distribution, and
small leap.
Yeah, like, well, I mean, I was already doing a lot of it, so, and I had a lot of knowledge from, everything, but, whew, buddy, keeping the wheels on that bus for a minute.
It's been tough.
It was tough, but here's the thing, I miss talking to people so much, and that is where, I had my own events company for 13 years, like, it was event promotions.
Right.
I'm a talker, I'm like a people person. Being here has been amazing, like learning all the things, like here I'm, at ground zero, I guess we'll call it, know. That's took me out of the stores now, talking to people, and my biggest thing with ancient wisdom and all of it, I'm going to bring it full circle, guys, I promise.
I'm with you.
My biggest thing with all that is, my favorite thing to do is to educate people and see them go, you make a lot of sense.
Right.
That does make sense. That is like the most rewarding thing to me, and then get them to realize like this is a simple decision here.
Right.
They take your product, they come back, and they're like, "You've changed my life."
Right.
There's nothing else,
that's
and
the greatest
that's what
compliment that we constantly get is it's not thank you for having a great product, it's you changed my life.
Yes, you changed my life.
And it's always a good thing. I'm sure there's some bad people. Like, you ruined my life. You guys see my exes, they probably said that too. But our customers say you changed our life. And how much better can you get than that? But cannabis was actually the #1 prescribed analgesic as prescription, if you will, prior to the Stamp Act of 1937. It was most. So
it wasn't cocaine.
No, well, that was in Coca-Cola, so we're good.
Okay.
But I come from a little more open background, so it was a natural progression for me. People like, to today, like, of course, this is what you do for a living. That's all I did in high school and middle school.
Which is so weird. Right. Every time you talk about doing radio, I'm just like, you did the radio?
Right, yeah, it's crazy. I've lived many lives, but this one keeps calling me back in. But I've even seen with like your in-laws and your immediate family that you've converted them and brought them over. Oh yeah,
back to the original question.
Yeah, no, it's cool.
I went way off course there.
We love it.
Yeah, because like I said, I've been around this sort of industry for a while. Like I said, we were working on products like an Adderall replacement and stuff like that. Then I went to be the marketing director for a pretty famous smoke shop, head shop. We were called a head shop, not a smoke shop.
Right.
Because there was a difference.
Right.
Back when all the vape juice was the thing.
Right.
And we weren't
and
a vape shop.
And it was all for tobacco use only.
Yeah. And so, having a product that, blew up, a lot of things went down with that, involving, the government and stuff, because we were coming after their Adderall pretty quick and fast and hard. People were Googling us and saying, I've replaced my Adderall with this. It was a lot. It was a lot. That's when you get the government's attention. You get in their pockets, or you get in their profits. They shut you down real quick. Take everything. So, that was a lot. But just that, I've just been in and around this, and so like part of so many changes in it that I can't see myself doing anything else. Like this wellness thing that we're doing, that is just a part of it. And it made sense for my family because we wanted to do a store like a Crown Town, because even back then, if you think about it, in the beginning it was a wellness store, and it still is. People don't realize that.
Right.
It might look a little bit different. There's more fun products, but it is still a wellness store.
Right.
So don't, like, we're not different. We're all going on the same path, and that's the thing is, like, with my family, you know, yeah, just because what I do in our life and the things that I talk about, they're so like, we should be like helping other people do this. It's all about helping other people. We've got other family businesses and things like that, but at the end of the day, our goal is, if this helped me this much, I want to share that with the world. And at the end of the day, no matter what industry you're in, no matter who you are, what you're doing, if that's not why you're doing it,
want to feel better.
Yeah, if that's not, but some people don't know what that feeling is yet,
right?
Because everybody feels like they're in competition with somebody or
right.
something. And a lot of competition has come up in this, just as you know, like. Yeah. It's sprung up everywhere.
Yeah, we talk about that often, how flooded the market is now, but it's not flooded with people doing it necessarily correctly, the right way.
Right.
So
the correct. I'm hoping that us people that have been doing it right from day one, that are still hanging in there, they're still doing it right and still wanting the right things and the right regulations and the right justices for this plant.
Authenticity pays.
Yeah. Hopefully.
You know, many of our stores being the first in Charlotte and second in the state, many of our stores have competition all around them. And we hear it all the time. People come in with their head hung and they're like, sorry, I cheated on you. I went to another store. Good news is I'll never do it again because that product was overpriced and it sucked or whatever. I mean, my wife Nikki actually had one yesterday. They went to a competitor right across the street that opened right across the street since they opened. They went and paid $65 for a vape and said it gave them a headache and it was terrible.
God.
And it was we had something very comparable, half the price. So, but yeah, it's your background and your family. Were they open to cannabis, like growing up?
Oh yeah. My stepdad was a cannabis user, and he also was a musician. And
they go hand in hand.
Yeah, and so I grew up with. Sometimes the house smelled like skunk, and there was band practice going on in the basement, or you know what I'm saying? Like it was.
That's peak Americana.
Yeah. There was pretty cool times, but. You know, sadly, he was too much into that lifestyle and ended up doing harder things, you know, later on and after my mom divorced. But anyways, that's
right.
Don't even get me down that path.
Right.
So anyways, yeah, I grew up around it, and, you know, he always said, if you ever want to smoke, like, come to me. Don't just go get it from anywhere. Right. And I was like, as a teenager, becoming a teenager, like, huh?
Right.
But, you know...
That's similar to what my mom said.
Yeah.
Well, she had said that after I was already stealing her shit. So
yeah.
Stealing her stash.
One important thing, I guess, that stuck with me since childhood for cannabis, and just how, you know, one of my favorite phrases of women in cannabis and that use cannabis is, it makes me a better mom. And I know that when my stepdad, this is like TMI right here probably, but when the house smelled like skunk, he was a better dad. And
my kids could probably agree with that statement too.
Yeah, but he also drank beer. So like on the beer days, not so good.
Right.
But if the house smelled like skunk, it was okay, you know? And that stuck with me. Oh, yeah. I think deep inside, and I think, you know, doing some shadow work or something, I was like, whoa, that's there?
Right.
That's like a thing.
I've
know?
Noticed that too in me, that it makes me a better parent. Also, you know, having a conversation with some friends of mine the other day, realizing we're all now hitting that mid 40 age. I can't believe I'm even here myself. But a lot of people I know that do not use cannabis or plant medicine are on piles of medication.
And they hate their life.
And
they
hate
their life.
But they literally will not try it because it's not legal. Well, it's not legal, but it is. But you know what I mean. And it's like, well, I don't want to mess with it. My doctor or whatever. My doctor. And it's like, you're on a pile of medication and you're miserable, and it didn't fix the problem. It just gave you more problems.
Yeah. Hey, let me tell you this. Let me tell you. So some of the new products that we've even brought on here at the Plug. Everything's made with good ingredients.
Sure.
Like, we got sugar-free options. We got fat-infused options that will, like, bypass your liver, and it'll be like having a drink, but you're going to feel so much better. There is so many alternatives out there now, and some of, like, the newer stuff that's coming out, because we've had so much time for research and development, like they're putting nootropics in there,
right?
Like L-theanine, 5-HTP, alpha GBC, B12. They're mixing that with cannabis and functional mushrooms all together for incredible products.
Right.
Like you can, and I have, even since, and I've already had so many people text me and call me and already come back for more. That right there, I'm like, is my repeat customers, that's what I want right there. That's what I want all day, because they believe in you. We're not just selling them ice cream, although we do have some infused ice cream floating around out there. But, you know,
no, you're exactly right. And that's what I tell people all the time. There's nothing I carry in my stores that I have not and take.
Try. You got to, we try everything.
Or try everything. There's nothing. And if it doesn't work or I don't feel it, I'll be the first one to say it.
Yeah,
you know, I'm like, this is, But that is the greatest compliment people can give, besides you changed my life, is they come back. And I just, had a conversation with my wife, with them just opening their stores. Like, she's like, it's not busy enough. And I said, watch, you're going to have these regulars that come back regularly, and they're going to tell their friends, and it builds. Like, and there they are.
Word of mouth is the best you can do.
Right.
You got to do all the other stuff too. Like, but word of mouth, and like having
good products sell themselves eventually. So
it's and the people that come back, they're going to spend the money.
Right.
Like, they don't care. They trust in what you are, quote unquote, prescribing.
Right. So your last week here with us at this store, this location, this job, you're not leaving us.
Right.
New Horizons. Let's talk about it. Name of your store. Where is it? Tell us about it. What do you guys do?
So we are Evexia. Welcome to Evexia. That's like, I did that on a radio commercial or something. But anyways. What's
Evexia mean?
Evexia means well-being, wellness, the state of being well in Greek. So we like Greek words. And
I like Greek food.
That's good too. But it's just been kind of like a theme in mine and my husband's relationship, and it's just wild because the year before we were miscarrying, and we decided that it was sarx, which is Greek for flesh, and then us, me and him, so we named him Sarxus.
Nice. And
then shortly after that, I think Evexia became a thing somehow. Like, we were talking about doing a partner store, and like it's been like kind of like this thing, like, and we're figuring out like how can we be a part and like support this, and like because I believe in everything that you guys are doing. You guys are the merger and everything that you guys have had. It's huge, and it's going to change the industry, and I know that it's for the better. Like, that needed to happen.
That's what I have to tell myself every day to keep from giving up. But it's been incredible. It's truly. So you guys are now
wellness
open,
and dispensary.
Wellness and dispensary, and that's kind of a little bit of a difference. We went in for your grand opening on Saturday.
No, that was a soft opening.
Oh, I'm sorry, soft opening.
I got to plan the grand opening. That's going to be way better.
I went to the very soft opening, the first one on Saturday. I took my family in, and you had some products in there that definitely interested me. Unfortunately, we have not taken them yet. We purchased them, and we're planning on indulging this weekend, but it's some other wellness products.
Some great wellness products.
It's outside of cannabis. It's we talk more about that or whatever, but it's an absolutely beautiful store. Show everybody the logo, what it looks like, or
are we doing this right now?
It's up to you.
I guess this is
She's going to make the transition from the plug to Evexia.
This beautiful shirt.
Right. So
I go wear every day, because I wear a uniform every day,
Yep, same.
I got to say that. Yeah, you do too. But every day most days I'm in my collared plug shirt, because I'm in business around here.
There you go.
So anyways, we relaxed it a little bit with Evexia.
Nice.
And
Casual Fridays at all time.
Where's the Motley Crew?
There we go. You're right.
Okay. Anyways.
So that's their new logo.
So, yes.
Evexia.
Evexia. Evexia.
There you go. Yeah. And it's absolutely beautiful inside their store too. It's not just your run-of-the-mill dispensary or whatever. They have beautiful seating area, all kind of literature and things on the walls for educational.
Yeah.
It's truly an incredible place there. So
thank you.
Let's talk about that too. We're still target marginalized, propagandized, whatever you want to say, and we're not always welcome.
Mm-hmm.
And how hard is it, number one, to find a place to put a store, and number two, you'll talk about a little bit of the fight you guys went through already. So,
yeah, it is. Yeah, and this location that we all live right there, very close to our store, and this location, it's a really crazy story. It has history, that the guy that was there before, antique guy, I went in a couple of weeks before he ended up passing, had a great conversation with him. Like, people don't know, like, I have some history with this building, and like, it was just this whole thing, like, but he sold my son something that he had in the back desk drawer, some like a machete or something, World War II memorabilia. And it was just crazy because everyone, that spot right there, the middle of a 5 points intersection that stays busy because there's some major roads around there. I'm not gonna lie, like, this spot's like, oh man, if we could do that there, like, wellness, the heart of
dreams,
the town,
manifestation.
Yeah. And so, and that's really what, the building came available. They sold it way more than it was worth and things like that, because someone knew that's like a prime piece of real estate. And so, yeah, it sat there for lease forever, and we're like, what's the deal? Why ain't nobody getting in there?
Because it was waiting on you.
Yeah, that's right. That's what we told ourselves, because like that's how we believe things. And like, we're like, man, it would be so amazing to get that building and put a beautiful mural on that wall, because we just feel like our town has no murals, none, and it
very
needs
conservative
some.
town, for those that aren't familiar. Conover, North Carolina.
Yeah,
it's very conservative in all ways.
It is. Yeah, and it's beautiful. The town is not in debt. It's a great town. They really do. I mean, we still get trash pickup every week and recycling.
Hey, big win.
Yeah, I'm saying, like,
for sure,
for real. And they haven't like heightened our taxes in a long time.
You just ruined that.
Don't move there. Nobody come there, because there's a lot of people moving there. But and it's kind of like sad too to see that, because it's like it's been quaint, but times are changing. So we
got the mural up.
We got the building.
Yeah.
And Justin's parents, like, they've owned so many different businesses. We didn't know what it was going to be. We even talked about doing an art gallery there, because we wasn't sure yet. We just knew we wanted it because we wanted to put a beautiful mural somewhere that it needed some art. So and of course we were going to go through all the proper channels. I mean, we didn't, because murals are popping up in every city, so it's like a thing, like, let's do it here, we'll donate it. So we got the building. Long story short, we got permission from our landlord. We then had to go to city council meetings. We presented it. They didn't have a policy. We were told they're not regulated at the beginning from City Hall.
Right.
And so we had commissioned an artist, and we still were like, can we do this? And we already commissioned the artist and paid the deposit for a very expensive piece of art. And it was like, okay, long story short, it turned into a whole thing. It went viral on the internet because it's
controversial.
Very it shouldn't be. But
some of the comments and things I was reading, people were saying it's like demonic and
it's satanic
and all these kind of things. But
saying it had all these pagan symbols in it. I mean, when you see it, you're like, where?
Right.
Or what? It's just a little futuristic. It's bright colors, and that was a big no-no in a bland town.
Right.
I mean, that,
and they were ultimately threatening you to make you cover it or take it down, essentially.
Well, we wanted the artist to go ahead and finish because, we're
already here.
We freaking paid for it. Let's at least get a picture with it. I mean, that's going to be the most expensive photo ever. But,
no, usually wedding photos are. Anyway.
No, I've been a wedding photographer. They ain't this expensive.
I'm talking about afterwards, the divorce.
Oh, yeah.
Kidding.
Oh, yeah. True. Oh, yeah.
I digress. But no,
so you're right.
You guys got your first fight, non-cannabis related.
Not even open yet.
Not even open.
Didn't even, like, hadn't even, because the artist, he, like, even though it was very expensive, he also was like, I'll cut you a deal because if I can get it done, I'm going to be in town for a while and I've got all these other jobs booked. So I'll, do you this deal, like cut some off to get it done in this time frame. Right. And we were like, sounds like a great deal.
Right.
Like we got excited. And so me and Justin, we like to have, I guess like we still date each other even though we're married. So sometimes, we'll have like a living room date where we sit up and we'll get a notebook out, sketchbook, whatever. He's designed our entire house, like inside out. He's helped his parents with their designs, everything. He's amazing. He draws it, and it just becomes. Yeah. And he did that. And then he builds it with his hands.
Right.
Our store is pretty much hand built.
How much better can you get than that?
Yeah, because it's one thing to have someone else hand build it, but when it's the owner, and he hand built this with his hands, like
authenticity pays.
Yeah,
especially in these run-of-mill places. So, but ultimately, you went to battle.
Oh yeah.
No, you're good.
Because one of our living room dates, we were dreaming up this mural, this art piece, and because it started as one thing and it transformed maybe 3 times, and that was it. And we were like, that's it. And, he sketched it out. We worked on it with the artist, and we're like, it's not political. It's not racist.
At least you thought.
It's not, none of these things. It's like,
yes.
That just goes to show that, like, no matter what it is,
well, is that not
people were
the definition of
hell.
art, though? Because my wife and I came from an art background. I'm a creative person. And we go to a couple of museums, my wife and I, and she's like, I just don't get art. And then, like, some of it pisses her off. She's like this pisses me off. Like, what is
like
this?
Like the banana duct taped to the wall for like millions of dollars.
And I said, that is art exactly. Whatever invokes that feeling, that emotion or whatever, and everybody that looks at a piece of art has different feelings and reactions to it, and that is ultimately art.
Yeah, take the cannabis plant. Some people like Henry Ford made a fender out of the hemp. We like to smoke it. It's subjective, right?
It's all perspective.
Yeah,
but truly, it's the world we live in, and what I love to see, and I've seen you do, and I do around me, and everything is change people that you never thought would be supporters that are, and even
best.
Billy connected me even to one of our politicians here in North Carolina, our House Representative Mitchell Setzer. Shout out to Mitchell if you ever see these. But he is a completely, totally sober, doesn't do anything kind of person. No cannabis, no alcohol, no tobacco, no nothing. Good for him. I'm working on that. But he completely, totally still supports what we do. And, he comes obviously from a background that doesn't, but he has seen for his own eyes things that changed his perception. And I've done so for people around me in my life. And I love not only a naysayer, but they almost look down on you for what you do. And then next thing you know, they come up, like I had an instance a couple weeks ago, ran into some old friends' parents, and they were like, they told me straight up, I always thought you were a bad kid or whatever. And I was always a kid in high school when they got when their kid got busted with shit in their room. It was always it was Mike's, So that's how it goes. But I read it to them, and hearing now that they're avid consumers of this plant, and it's one of the greatest compliments of I didn't believe in it, but seeing what you do and your passion behind it, and hearing you. It changed me. And what's crazy too, and everybody in this room can attest to it, we can post all day long, and we repost, we put up our own things, we do these interviews, and we rarely get the likes, the shares, or whatever. But when you run into these people in public, they recite to you everything you've been saying and doing and your whole life. It's incredible. People are paying attention and they're listening. And I think COVID was a big change for all of us to really question our health and our wellness and where we stand. And as we were cut off from the norms, one of our biggest expansion times was during that time, and it was doctors literally sending people to us because they couldn't get to their patients, or there was some kind of protocol where they couldn't. So they were literally sending patients to us to get relief for the things they were going through. And I think that was a big transition for people when they were cut off from the outside world, ultimately, is how can I take care of myself immediately, and what am I dependent on? And when you can't get these medications, or you can't get to the doctor, or and I watched this shift on everyone, and it's showing in the numbers. I always say, if you ever want to vote with your pocketbook. And it's showing, because people are now moving away from things, tobacco, alcohol, pharmaceutical, and the numbers are dropping. And on the other side, cannabis and alternative plant medicines are on the rise.
Yeah, but the problem with that is, when they see that shift happening, they're going to come after it.
Oh yeah, 100%. The
like,
propaganda
this is too much.
It's 1950 again out here. You know,
so they've made their money now. Let's go take it from them.
What trips me out are these studies we can finally do. Like one study, like cannabis is going to make you have a heart attack. I read one the other day that you're going to have dementia within 3 years of smoking.
Oh God.
I'm on 45 this year. Started when I was 13. Maybe I have dementia now, but every study goes one way or the other. Well, some days, you know. Then it's like this study says this, this study says that, but ultimately the proof is here. This is one of the most widely used items on this planet, and everybody's okay. A matter of fact, if there's any time in hell of history that we need it, it's right now. Right? Nobody died from this, but literally, like, what is like donkeys take out 50 to 100 people a year or something, you know, like
jackasses.
Like it's crazy. And if we're really going to make it about safety, let's make it about that. But it's all literally about propaganda. Who controls it? Who gets the money?
Who gets the money?
Right. So in this industry with us for a long time, what's something you've learned since Saturday that you the challenges, or I know one thing I was talking to you,
just being customer facing again. Yeah, dude. Whew, yeah,
you forget about that, because everybody is energy.
I'm a little rusty,
right? And I love when I get to the store, especially a busy store, I love just back in the beginning I would be talking to 4 or 5 customers at once and dosing them with CBD,
which is amazing. It's like so much better than like I just
sitting here with no one there, it's the worst thing ever. We talk about it ever, but and when you're rolling and you're spitting off, and you can watch that thing switching people, and they go, well, damn, or they try it, you know. And you'll see it too. We've had people come in the store shaking, nervous, in pain, and whatever. And back then, we used to be really, before COVID, we'd put topicals on for people, or we'd give them CBD oil right there, and you would literally see them feel or look different by the time they left the store. But so far, you got a favorite customer yet? I know it's just been a few days.
Sure, yeah, I got a couple already.
Yeah,
I mean, for real. It's just been great. And some people, I'm like, oh man, did I like just blah on them? Because, you know, all this information I have. I'm so excited to be, you know, telling people about it and watching that aha moment and the change, and them purchase something. And, you know, like I said, I've already had people come back again, buy more and learn more. And they're like, God, everything you've given me has made me feel better. Like, you've changed my life. And this one lady, I could literally see it in her face already from like, I actually know her. I let her come the day before we actually opened, because she called me and she's like, I'm in pain. Is there anything you have? And like, I was like, yes, come by the store today. I'll be there all day, you know? So, and she did. And she came back Saturday, and then she came back as soon as we opened Monday morning and brought a friend. And I told her, I said, I can already see it in your face that you feel better. And like, she's a beautiful woman, you know, and I'm just like,
people are usually looking for ease of pain, sleep is and anxiety. Those are the big 3. And if you could change that about someone, you definitely can physically see the difference.
Yes.
So, but yeah.
So favorite customer, I don't know. Did I tell you about a specific one, or?
No, I just didn't know. Like I have a few over the years that stood out. Of course, I'm not in the stores.
I'm going to have them. They're going to become regulars. I can already tell. But they
become family too. It's crazy.
Yeah, and that's something that I have missed, because even getting on a POS system, I was like...
Yeah, I still to this day can't ring up anybody in our store. I mean, I could figure it out, but I don't even touch it, because I usually mess it up. So
I don't know if I've been helping Justin by being there or making things worse, because I'm like, hey, every time I'm like, what do I do now? And I was like, you know, I haven't used a POS system since I left Hooters in 2012. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
I was like, shoot, it's been a long time.
It's like an old hat. We got back on the bike when you got to do it.
I'm getting the hang of it, though, real quick. I'm a fast learner. But I will say, being back in front of people, like talking to people, you know, from having an events promotions company, that's what we did. We interacted with people all the time. It was amazing. But I was rusty, but I got back in, you know, fine. But the amount of energy that it takes, like, I got my butt kicked.
Yeah, you absorb other people's energy. You're giving energy. It is exhausting at the end of the day.
Oh, yeah. And you're tired of smiling. You're just like, and then your face is just like,
I remember, like, at times, I remember the back of my head and my jaw would be hurting from talking. And I'm like, if I have to say this one more time, but it would never fail me that when I think I've had, and to this day, when I think I've had too much, I'm tired of fighting, I'm sick of this industry and the fights, there's always that one customer that comes up and says something like, you changed my life, or without this product or that product, I wouldn't be able to function every day. So where can they find Avexia? Online, social media, physically?
We have an Instagram page that is Avexia_NC. And then we're on Facebook, just Avexia. Got a website, like it's coming. It's just gonna be like more like a landing page, like contact us or something. But
what's your address?
It is 103 First Avenue South, Conover, 28613, North Carolina.
Yeah, I think I was out there the other day, and it was like First Street and First Street and First.
Oh, we got
It's like all the roads in Charlotte. Everything's Sharon Road, whatever.
I think
Road,
Charlotte
West,
is easier than up there. Hickory, Conover, and all them. They're just
Side
crazy.
note: the Golden Corral up there was absolutely fucking amazing. My family was raving about that. We often establish, you know, buffet type places. I know it's hard to build, but now it was next level up there. It was like, so it was a great, cool little town.
Well, you used to like Kobe's, right?
Oh yeah, I still love Kobe's. That's up there. The old town. There's something to those old towns. It's still they believe in customer service and quality. But either way, you got to go check out Billie and her husband's place and their in-laws. Vexia, it's a beautiful spot. Justin's also a lovely man to look at. He's still daddy in my phone. With 2 hearts on each side. She sent me his contact number. That's how it's in her phone. So now it's in my phone like that as well.
Oh my God.
So but it's quite incredible. Truly, thank you for everything you've done for this company. It's not goodbye. It's just it's you know, on to your next era. You're on to your next season, and you got the full support of all of us here, including myself, and vice versa. And it's a beautiful thing. And you know, nothing unites people like a common enemy. And it doesn't take you long in this industry to realize how many damn enemies we got. And it's sad because we're literally fighting for something that can save your life, your mom's life, your friend's life. It's not even a conspiracy or a thought. There's proof that all of these things, these mushrooms, these plants, literally kill cancer, literally stop the effects and reverse the effects of Parkinson's. I was just reading another study the other day on what psychedelics do with mushrooms and psilocybin.
Rewiring your brain for the better.
And it's time to wake up, man. And listen, being on this side of politics now, I can tell you it is 100% effective and driven by money, corporate money and greed. Pretty much every politician that you know and you voted for that thinks has your best interest is only making the best interest of who paid for them to get there.
That's right.
And if this is not conspiracy, you can go look for yourself, public knowledge of who's paying these politicians. And you can see clear lines of conflicts of interest in your best health and your best interests. So as always, I want to tell you, get involved. Really know who you voted for or didn't vote for but represents you. Know what they stand on and how they're voting on all these topics. And it's public knowledge. It's a little bit difficult to go find, but once you find it, you can't unsee it, and you follow these things. So it's important that our quality of life is at stake. And talking about old towns or whatever, you know, we're never going to go back to, I think, things were before 2020, but we now live in an information age. We now can easily go search things. Figure out for yourself. Have these conversations. Dig in deep with AI or whatever you want to and realize that you've been lied to about most of these things. And this is all about really keeping people sick, because treating people is $1 trillion business, but curing people will make you go out of business.
Right.
So
can I say this? When you talk
do.
about enemies, it's our enemies aren't each other.
Right.
It's not us.
That's
like
what they
we're
make us
here
think.
to educate each other and help each other. Our enemy is the people in control,
Right.
and they've been controlling us for a long time. They've been brainwashing us for a long time. You know, brainwashing. That's how I say
it. It's
Everybody knows
they
it.
brainwash us
Anyways,
into thinking that we are the enemy. And
and that plant is the enemy.
Right.
Look what they've done to that plant.
Which is the biggest enemy of the government, because sitting here and doing this with a stranger or a friend connects and unites us in ways they don't want us to, because as long as we're divided, we can be controlled. So
and it's not a gateway drug.
It's not a gateway drug.
It's
no.
not. It's a.
If anything, it's this damn processed food we eat every day.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
But anyway, absolute best of luck to you and yours, and you'll always be a part and a friend of the company, and we'll have the same in you guys. Check these guys out, Avexia. Incredible products in there, and especially their King Canna products in there.
Yeah.
They were really
I hope
good.
to have you on my podcast one day.
I would love to be.
You're just truly an inspiration.
Well,
I want
thank
you
you.
to know.
I appreciate that.
And I
A lot
think
of
that
love.
I know you're busy, so I just
I'm
want to
a
say
busy
this:
man. Yeah.
we need more Mike Sims in the world, right?
Thank you.
Because
appreciate that.
you've really inspired me and my husband.
Thank you.
And I will say,
Likewise.
I just want to say this about everybody in the company, real
Yeah.
quick, because I know you're trying
Please
to wrap
do.
it up. I know.
No.
Okay, because you know I'm a talker.
We can take as long as you want.
No, don't
all
say
day.
that, because I'll be here all day.
No.
But I just want to say that, like, it has been such a good roller coaster. I mean, it's been crazy sometimes, but like,
the least.
I've learned so much. Don't take any of it for granted. You know that I was here with you guys when my brother passed away.
Yeah.
Because he had a battle with a cancer that come from being a fireman for so long, and the chemicals. Okay,
Yeah.
so trust me when I say, like, you know, I was juicing for him, giving him as much hemp as I could, trying to get it to him.
Right.
He was scared of it, and I just got to share this
I was
part.
going to bring it up, but I didn't want to. Yeah,
it's okay.
Yeah.
I got to talk about it
Please
because
do.
this is why I'm so than I was back in the day.
Sure.
You know, when they came and told us that evening after he'd found out, you know, it was just a shock because my brother's healthy looking. He's
Right.
in shape, and you know, they just delivered my second niece. The oldest one was 7, and perfect people. You know, him and his wife, and she's actually an RN in the medical field, and she's a hospice nurse. So a lot of things. Anyways, so they both had jobs that require drug testing. So they've never been. Now, my brother, he smoked with me a couple times, me and my friends back in
Right.
high school, and he was like the funniest dude.
Right.
And like, you know, oh God, we loved to, like, you know, I was a bad influence, older sister, I guess you could say.
Nice.
But it was just weed.
I'm a
So,
bad
you know,
influence too. Yeah.
if that's a bad influence, oh well. I mean,
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah, you know, I had given him stuff to take, and he wasn't taking it, and he just told me, he said, I'm scared. And I said, listen, I'm not playing around with you anymore, because, you know, it had gone and came back, and after they had removed most of his liver and everything. Anyways, I got really, you know, pushy about it, and he was so scared because he wanted to be able to go back to work, and he didn't want to take a drug test. And I'm like, dude,
Right.
dude, that is
That's how
not.
deeply ingrained it is.
Yes, because they have made people fear this. That's what
Right.
you know, pisses me off so bad, is because
It could have probably prolonged
this
his
was
life.
put here.
Yeah.
This was put here for us.
Yeah.
Don't be brainwashed into thinking it anything otherwise, because
Right.
this plant was made for us. It was made for you, and it was
Right.
made for me and her and him and everybody,
It literally
and our
bonds
animals,
to who we are. Yeah.
and our animals. CBD is amazing for my dogs. I have 2
Yeah.
huskies. So
Yeah.
anyway,
I remember when you did let him take those products, his reaction was not the best. We
Right.
can laugh about it a little bit now, but it was,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, listen, okay, so he took a little more than I prescribed. and
It made him scared.
yeah, the one night I didn't turn my ringer back on my phone before bed. I wake up to a bunch of calls and everything. They had to go to the emergency room. They called the ambulance. I'm like, did anybody give him any water?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And I asked him, you know, the next day after he was okay again. I was like, let me ask you something. You had to be thirsty, right? And he was like, yeah, I was thirsty the whole time. I was like, why didn't you drink any water? Because it's the first thing I would have said. Is like, get some water, get some sugar, and chill out, man. You know, you're okay. You're going to be okay.
People aren't used to it, and they're expecting the worst. Yeah. It's that fight or flight thing.
And and I said, but hey, during that, did you have euphoric moments? And, you know, were you hungry afterwards? Because for people going through chemo and cancer and all that, it's the thing. I'm not trying to get you high. I'm trying to help you have an appetite. I'm trying to help you sleep and get your mind out of the freaking, you know, where it is, you know? Because I don't care who you are, your mind, it races.
It does.
You know, and especially things that come up like that hit us, you know, from the left field.
Life is heavy.
Yeah, it's heavy at times.
Yeah.
And so your brain starts doing its thing. Like, it's not really your brain, it's your gut, it's your heart. It's really from here.
Yeah.
And this just powers it. So hopefully you're, you know, using it the right way. Yeah. But it was, I went through a lot with all that. My brother fought very hard. And it was just something that, you know, and the first question I asked them when they came and told us was, what did the doctor say to do? And he's like, nothing. I was like, they didn't say change your diet. Because, you know, I done been down the vegan rabbit hole. I done been in a supplements company. I had already been on my juicing path, all that before this diagnosis and everything. So this was something to me, I was like, your doctor didn't tell you to go raw vegan, get the sugar out of here completely. He didn't say none of that to you?
No,
he's like,
prescriptions and on to the next one.
It was radiation plan or chemo plan or something or something. All money.
Oh, yeah. So, that's how it goes. But yeah, you know, these doctors are trained by the same bodies that make the regulations.
And the insurance companies are
That's how it goes. They're all in it together. But either way, thank you for your journey. We're going to have to do a follow-up one with you and Justin as well in a couple months or weeks or whatever to see how you guys are doing. And we'll have to drop in. We got some footage, too, of your opening day the other day that I'll have to share. But either way, thanks for being here.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys
Thanks
came
for being
and
part
supported
of this journey of life. And all my best wishes to you guys.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you to everybody part of this family. Thank you so
much. It's greatly appreciated. It's all love, and it's all peace, love, and cannabis. Thank you, everybody, for joining in. Like, subscribe, share. Be part of this movement. Be part of the right side of history. We're just wanting to help. We just want you to live. We want you to be well and live in peace. Thank you so much. Medical disclaimer. We are not pharmacists. We are not doctors. We're not making any medical claims. We're simply making observations of the things we've witnessed in our lives.
In our humble opinions.
Please consult a doctor before you try taking any of these products.